You're listening to my cousin DLils on
It's DLils, you rockin' with hip hop, man, home runs. We don't criticize pros, man, it's all fun. Urban media, yeah, we talking sports, debating issues, spitting game on and off the court. It's hip hop, man, home runs.
hip hop and homeruns.com.
Talk of the town, the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron back at home. So I've been watching some film, and here are my issues with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, and I managed to come up with 5 issues and why they have a losing record right now. So, number 1, Kyrie Irving is not a true point guard. Yes, he played point guard at Duke. That does not matter. Kyrie is part of this new age hybrid point guards, along with Derrick Rose, along with Russell Westbrook, along with Steph Curry. Now, out of all those guys, Steph Curry is probably the closest to a pure point guard because he showed he can play that at Davis and he led his team deep into the NCAA tournament. But he's a shoot first point guard, and unlike Kevin Durant, unlike someone even like Carmelo Anthony, if you're going to have a player like LeBron James, he's not a create your own shot kind of guy. He can play with his back to the basket. LeBron is a coming off a screen, slashing to the basket, catching a oop, catching a bounce pass, finishing. LeBron is what you call a finisher, a great finisher. Now, he has polished his game, and he has improved his outside shooting percentages, both at 3-point and his overall field goal percentage. But again, he's also increased his basketball handling ability, but he's not a pure create your own shot kind of guy. He needs a good passing point guard. He needs it. You guys are really going to see how valuable Chalmers was. Chalmers made that offense churn. I'm telling you right now. And he had other scores. Now, they can fix this, but Kyrie is going to have to humble himself. He's going to have to realize, okay, in order for us to win, I can't average 23 points per game. In order for the Cavaliers to win, Kyrie has to average 16 points per game and 12 assists, 4 rebounds. That's the type of player. He needs to be that Rondo type of player. Okay? He can be better than Rondo, but he has to be that type. That's the type of game he has to have. Kevin Love can't get lost in the mix. Kevin Love is used. I'll get to Kevin Love, but again, Kyrie's going to have to change his game, and the sooner the better. The sooner that Kyrie will go to averaging 17 points per game, 12 assists, the sooner the Cavs start rolling. Okay? Number 2, free agent signings have been horrible, and it's destroyed the overall team chemistry. Sean Marion, I'm sorry, he's well out of his prime. He's taken valuable minutes from waiters. He just... Again, and I'm not a Sean, I like the Matrix, but on this team, this is an offensive prolific team. If you're going to bring defensive guys in, you don't bring defensive wing players in, you bring defensive guys at the rim. Varejao is not meeting people at the rim. Okay? Plain old and simple. Tristan Thompson, he's a good low post defensive player, but again, he's not a rim protector. It would have been more valuable to bring in a Dallenberg type of player, a Tyson Chandler type of player. Those guys may not have been available, but I'm sure if we search for agency, we're able to find someone else out there who can come off the bench and that will contest shots at the rim. That's what they need. Mike Miller, James Jones, this is more about, LeBron and my friends coming over. This is like, hey, I'm taking my friends, we're going to play a pickup game. This isn't about winning a championship because right now, Mike Miller and James Jones, they're just not fitting into the rotation. You're taking Dion Waiters off and bringing Mike Miller in. The dynamic is so different. You're getting a great, hard-nosed defensive player who can shoot from the outside and create his own shot, and you're bringing him in just for an open three-point shooter. That's it. And James Jones is just taking up a roster spot that someone else could have. So, the free agent signings have not been well. Number 3, first-year coach Blatt. I'm a little shaky with this guy. Here's why. Is he a good coach? Yeah, he's a good world coach. He's a good international coach. He can coach on the Olympic level, and I'll always have respect for coaches who are able to do that. My problem is that Coach David Blatt coached the Russian national team, and think about the Russian national team. What do you have? You have a bunch of tall guys. You have a bunch of tall big men. You have Andrei Kirilenko's, that even your guard Alex Fed, he's not a create your own shot guy. He's a come off the screens, catch and shoot. He has very solid fundamentals, but again, David Blatt does not know how to coach these young, athletic, creative guards. This is all new. This is all new world to him. So Blatt is going to have to really watch some film and really, reach out for advice from the Coach K's, from the Boeheims, these guys who have had electric guards and who've coached people like Dion Waiters and Kyrie in the past in order to really get the most. I knew that there was going to be issues as soon as 5 games through the season, Dion Waiters goes to the bench to become the 6th man. Dion Waiters should be starting on that team. He could be the D Wade role. I told you guys that when they first got together. I thought Dion Waiters is very capable of being the next Dwayne Wade. And what happens? He goes straight to the bench. So David Blatt, he really needs to learn how to get the most out of his players, as well as need to have fluidity in the offense. I mean, how many times now am I seeing the ball come down the court and one screen, boom, 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 okay, I'm trying to do my own thing. If I can't get my own shot, I'm going to pass back out for open 3. And that's all it is. It's create your own shot, dish out for a 3. There's no movement. I don't see the coming off the screens. Okay, I don't see the motion offense. And this is a guy who's supposed to be under Coach Pete over there at Princeton. So, and I know the Princeton offense. I ran it in high school. Number 4. LeBron has not changed his game. Now, LeBron is not having a great season so far. Yes, I understand it's very early, but in order for this team to excel, LeBron has to be a pure 3. He cannot play that point forward role that he played with Miami. You have point guards on this team. There is no scarcity of point guards on the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have Kyrie Irving. Let Kyrie bring the ball up the court. If Kyrie is unable to bring the ball up the court, let Dion bring the ball up the court. Let the other guy, Dellavedova, whatever his name is, let him bring the ball up the court. You have other guys who are well built for the point guard position, or well built to bring the ball up the court, regardless of its pressure or not. Let these guys excel. Let them be the ones who bring the ball up the court. I have a huge issue with that. Number 5, and this is a big one, Kevin Love. His role, how does it fit? Well, Kevin Love had the fluorescent light at Minnesota. He was able to come down every time. You know where the ball is going. It's going to Kevin Love every single time. And when you get to take 24 shots and end up with 27 points per game and 12 rebounds, most of the time you're rebounding your own shot. If you're not, then you're passing out to somebody for a 3 or immediately going to the basket. That's not the case. Kevin Love may only touch the ball once every 3 times down the court now. So they really need to restructure the offense as far as Kyrie bringing the ball down the court, initiate the offense. Everybody needs to touch the ball. Okay, LeBron can get his points whenever. LeBron needs to cut and move and be a part of the offense, and he cannot hold the ball, and it cannot become a one-on-one Harlem Globetrotters show with Kyrie, Kevin, and LeBron. It can't do that. And if it is, then the best they'll end up is 6th place in the East, and they'll lose to the Toronto Raptors. They're one of my biggest surprises right now. Early NBA surprises, Toronto Raptors, hands down. I'm very impressed. Kyle Lowry really taking over the point guard position in the East. And when you have a team that has gelled together and has been one unit for a long period of time, that does help. DeMar DeRozan has really stepped his game up to a whole nother echelon. And as a result, I do anticipate the Raptors finishing in the top 2 or 3 teams, and they're going to be better. Now, will the other teams in the East catch up as far as being able to gel in their camaraderie and their overall cohesive unit? I'm not sure. But right now, the Raptors are looking tough, and they spread the ball, and they play unselfishly, and that's most important in basketball. Playing unselfish, living unselfishly on the court is what makes the San Antonio Spurs different from the Miami Heat. Another great surprise, the emergence of John Wall. John Wall is healthy this year, starting the year off by himself. He had no Beal next to him for the first few games, and he really took the initiative to say, I'm going to lead this team to victories. You know, Paul Pierce looks like he's 2 days away from a wheelchair. Honestly, that's how he gets up and down the court, and this is all John Wall. And Kevin Seraphin has been a great surprise coming off the bench for them. Tough guy from France. He played on the French national team alongside Tony Parker and Nicolas Batum. So I'm very impressed with the Washington Wizards at this point, the DC Wizards. And another surprise, the Sacramento Kings. I told you guys, I think I mentioned it in my top 50 NBA power rankings. The fact that Rudy Gay and DeMarcus Cousins were able to play with each other over the summertime was going to prove big for them. And it's showing right now. It's showing with Drew Holiday leading this team to the best record in the Pacific Division, which is rare. They haven't been this elite since they had Peja Stojakovic and Chris Webber. So I fully expect the Sacramento Kings to remain along the top as long as they continue to play unselfish and as long as DeMarcus continues to mature, which I'm loving DeMarcus Cousins' development. The only thing that I really need to see DeMarcus improve on is his defensive protecting the rim ability. Hey, man, you're 7'1", you're athletic. No one can touch you offensively but Anthony Davis. It's time really to defend that paint the way that you should, the way that a 7-footer should. And if he's not going to defend the paint, then they need to bring somebody else in there to play alongside DeMarcus so he can worry about offense and have somebody else guard all the other team's big, tough centers and power forwards. It's as simple as that. Now, on the flip side, there is a lot of bad that I'm seeing early on in this year's NBA. OKC, although OKC is missing their top 2 guys in Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, I really expect Serge Ibaka to step up and, increase his scoring load. I thought Serge would, average 25 points per game, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks. I thought he had that type of talent, and I'm saying that maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does need to be sped up. Maybe he really needs that pure point guard to feed him open in the corner, knock down threes, and to be able to get those garbage points. Maybe that's what Serge needs. He's not the player that I thought he was, which then makes me think maybe they made a bad decision by moving James Harden. Chicago with Derrick Rose. I don't have too many issues with Derrick Rose, but I will tell you this: somebody who has already gone through 2 knee surgeries. When you have a knee surgery, it takes a while for those surrounding muscles and joints around the knee to really get back into its athletic rhythm, the normal rhythmic athletic responses. That's what I call it. And that's why Derrick Rose is having a lot of hamstring injuries, because he's performing at 100%, high speed. This isn't practice anymore. These are the games. And he's using muscles that just haven't been used in a while. And when you're rehabbing, you're concentrating on the muscles in the immediate area. And I'm not saying that he didn't do a great job of rehabbing, but what I am saying is that these injuries are not going anywhere. He's going to continue with the hamstring injuries. He's going to continue to have little aches and pains throughout the season. So don't be surprised if Derrick Rose only ends up playing 50 games this season. Okay, the Chicago Bulls can still go deep into the playoffs with Derrick Rose playing 52 games, i.e. Greg Popovich Spurs. That's all I have to say. You know, another unfortunate surprise has been Kobe Bryant. Now, Kobe Bryant shooting 38%, it's more so his attitude towards his teammates. It's very condescending, and Kobe has always had a condescending tone to him, but in the past it's been more competitive. It's been more about his competitive spirit. Now it's about, oh, you guys are garbage. You guys just are not good enough to play with me. And that can't be the case. That can't be the case on a struggling Lakers team who, I mean, at this point, they're just playing for a draft pick. How do you fix it? There's one way to fix it. Amnesty Kobe. Can't amnesty him? Cool. Trade him. I got a destination for you. New York City. Let him play with Carmelo for the last 2 years of his career. With Phil Jackson will come down and descend from above. And Fisher will go to assistant coaching. And now you have a chance to compete in the East until LeBron figures his Cleveland Cavalier thing out. I guarantee you. That's really the only option. You said you want... Kobe can come back in 3 years and sign a one-day contract and retire a Laker if that's what he really wants to do. And they'll still build him a statue outside of the Staples Center next to Magic. If that's really what he wants. But if it comes down to winning, time to go to New York, man. 76ers are 0-14 right now. Looks like they're playing for another draft pick. Looks like they're going to tank. Nerlens has been a good surprise. Carter Williams is just coming back off of an injury. And you still have Joel Embiid on the back burner. Maybe going 10-72 is not a bad idea. You get the number 1 draft pick. And now you come back next season with Embiid healthy, Nerlens healthy, Michael Carter Williams, and you draft maybe one of those kids from Kansas. Now you have a squad. You make one little trade, and you're looking at top 3 in the East next year. Look out for Philly over these next couple of years. They're really building a franchise. I like what they're doing. I just don't like the losing. There's always a better way to do it. All right.